So I've made it through 25 days of the 100-day project for 2026. So that is a quarter of the way through. And this is my first time and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not running out of ideas yet. My project is mixed media nature journaling in a grid format. And I've made my own journal out of recycled materials and gel papers and stamps and tissue paper, various bits and pieces. So this is it. I thought I'd do a flip through for a quarter of the way through. Day one, I'll hold it a bit closer, was a labyrinthine ghost moth, which just happened to land on the back door very opportunely. It is the season for them. We don't see much of them anymore. So I just did a sketch with a little bit of collage on a gesso and watercolour background. Number two was a feather, which I did a gel print of on some black paper, and that was the original piece of paper that I put over the top of the gel print to pull off the excess paint. And forget-me-nots are still in the garden a little bit. They're almost gone for the winter. So some pressed forget-me-nots and a little tiny sketch. This little guy, two-coloured orange spider wasp, also just happened by on day 4, which was very convenient. I have never seen one here before, so that was really good. He is an Australian native, he, her. It's probably a her because she gathers the food for the babies who are living in the mud, and of course they eat spiders. What do we got? Day 5 were the dahlias in my garden, which I really love. They're one of my faves at this time of year, and they give really good colour in eco dyeing as well. Did a little bit of a mixed media background for that and just some watercolour. And then day 6 was another feather, which I find lots of these little feathers around with the grey and the black and the little reddy orange kind of tuft on top, and they come from the crimson rosellas. So did a little sketch of that with a little mixed media background. And then this one was some roses. I got inspired by some roses in the garden and just did some really loose, rough drawing of some roses and included a little stamp on there as well. This little person here was a gum nut with some algae, or lichen I should say, all over it. So I did a little sketch of that on a gessoed background watercolour, and with I made a little tiny weeny book out of some tea bag tags and adhered gel printed. They're covered with gel prints, and adhered some of the lichen into it. That was cute. Okay, and then day 9 was some watercolour leaves from the garden. The gum leaves at the moment are all turning different colours. So I had some beautiful ones just lying around on the ground, so I thought I'd pick them up and did a little watercolour sketch of those. Day 10, I should say, decided to do something a little bit fun, and just on a mixed media background did a little collage of some cone flowers. So that was just a little bit of a fun, different thing to do for day 10. And then day 11 is a gel print of some grasses in the garden. Can kind of see a little of the detail there, just the grass heads laid on each other. And then day 12 was a little bit of a watercolour, and I recently bought one of those little mini printers that you attach to your phone. So I had never used it before, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity. So I printed out my photo and I put the information that I want about my mushrooms on the back, except that I wrote it upside down, of course. I should have gone the other way around, but that's okay. So these came up in the garden. So they're fun. You have to pick them and eat them straight away, or they just dissolve into an inky mass. So then we come across to day 13, and I found in the garden the wattles flowered. They kind of flower autumn, winter, the wattles, and we've got lots of them here on the property. And so now during summer, they're starting to form their seed pods. I should have bought some out, shouldn't I? But if you go to my Instagram page at Dawns_creative_life, there are some pictures of the actual seed pods on this post. Anyway, yeah, they're all kind of like twirly whirly and have these vibrant orangey red seeds inside them, which are also edible. So I just did a pencil sketch of those, just kept that simple. And then day 14, did just played with some rubbings. One on tissue paper here, and then one directly on the brown paper, and just did a little watercolour sketch of the flower that actually goes with this, which is actually a weed, but it's a red flowered mallow, so it's actually a weed, but it's actually edible. You can have them in salads and wilt them and what have you. So yeah, I just kind of experimented with a couple of different surfaces for rubbings. And this little guy, Southern Brown Tree Frog, was hiding in my potting mix when I was doing some gardening. So I thought, well, that's perfect. Do a little watercolour sketch of him, and that's just on a bit of a mixed media background as well. And then on day 17, I did the Scarborough lilies that are in the garden. They are amazing this year. The colour is so vibrant. So I did, and if you go to Instagram for this day, there's also a photo of those actual lilies in my garden. They're just amazing. They're not Australian natives, they're native to South Africa, but they are just stunning, and I did that on a bit of a mixed media background as well. And then day 18, I did on a mixed media background, a gel print on some tissue paper of the wild fennel that we've got growing down in the garden. The wild fennel, we kind of cultivate it because we harvest the fennel seeds to use in cooking and salads, and we use the fennel fronds as well in salads. Really nice. And I did some stitching around that as well, just for fun, for something different, and that turned out really well. Day 19, oak trees. These were not from my property, even though I said that they were going to all be from my property, but I went for a walk around our local lake, and there's lots of oak trees around there, and there's lots of debris on the ground, leaves and acorns from the corallas that are currently out in full force in Australia, and they just love pine cones and acorns and gum nuts, and so they are very vocal at this time of year. So I just did on again with a little bit of mixed media. It's just a bit of a pencil sketch, this one. Yeah, and I just did that from life. I picked up some from the lake and put them in my pocket and brought them home with me. And this little guy is a dragonfly which landed in the garden. We had actually that day, the exact day so this is it's not actually the 20th of the month because we started on the 22nd of January, but day 20, I can't remember what date it was, but we in the background had, oh goodness me, I don't know, 20 to 30 of these dragonflies, all tau emeralds, just flying around the backyard. I've never seen so many before in our garden in the one place at the same time. So something was going on there, and so it was just amazing. It's very difficult to get a photo of them. They don't really stay still long enough, but yeah, that was just an amazing day. Okay, so then we've got day 21, and of course day 21 was the other side of the sewing that I did here. So that was fun to play with as well. So I did my cyclamens, day 20. The cyclamens, they're not in the garden, they're in pots, but they're looking really good at the moment, and that's just on a bit of a mixed media background as well. Day 22 was a longhorn moth, which landed actually in my art room on the lamp that I'm using right now to film this. So I thought, oh well, I'll take a photo of him before relocating him back outside. Maybe it was a her. And so I took a few photos of that and just did a pencil sketch of that with just a little bit of a mixed media background. And their horns are amazing. Again, if you go to my Instagram page, I've got photos of this moth after the main photo. And I think if you scroll to the last one, you can just actually see the horns. They're quite amazing. Anyway, that was a fun one. And then day 23, the nasturtiums are going crazy. They're recovering from the really dry summer heat that we had, and they're starting to bounce back in the garden. So I thought, well, I will do those. And the nasturtiums we also eat, the whole plant. The leaves we use in salads, we use them as a base for little quiches, we use them to make little dalmatis, and the petals in salads. The seeds are great also raw in salads, or I brine them, and they are a good substitute for capers. And that's not really very mixed media-ish, it's just on a bit of gesso, watercolour on gesso. This day 24 was a gel print using pastels, soft pastels on the gel plate of a feijoa leaf. And that is also just on tissue paper on a gesso background. And then day 25, I came into the studio and saw the remnants of some moth wings on the floor. So the body had obviously been eaten. So I picked up the leaves and the wings, and it's really difficult to see the colours of them, but this little spot in here is just a really vibrant oil slick blue. It's quite amazing. So I thought, well, I'll do a sketch of those. And just included a little bit of information about it there. It's a southern moon moth. And this is just in the window face from a business envelope. And I just put a little bit of gesso on that background there to tone down that blue businessy sort of pattern that's on them. And this little bit of tape here is some handmade washi, which I'll link to in this video so that you can watch that if you would like to. And that is it, 25 days of the 100-day project. So stay tuned for more, and if you liked this and you definitely want to see the end result, be sure to like, subscribe and hit that little bell so that you get notifications. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.